In the span of just 9 minutes on March 21, 2005, the Red Lake Senior High School in Minnesota became the site of the deadliest school shooting since Columbine. 10 lives were lost, including those of 5 students, a teacher, a security guard, and the 16-year-old perpetrator himself. This tragic event would leave an indelible mark on the Red Lake Indian Reservation and reignite national debates on gun violence, mental health, and school safety. The Red Lake school shooting stands as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of gun violence in educational institutions. This tragedy not only shook the tight-knit Ojibwe community, but also raised critical questions about youth violence, gun control, and mental health support, particularly in Native American communities. By examining the events of that fateful day and its aftermath, we can gain valuable insights into the complex factors that contribute to such incidents and the urgent need for comprehensive solutions. The Red Lake Indian Reservation, located in northwestern Minnesota, is home to the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians, also known as the Ojibwe. This sovereign nation, with a population of about 5,000, has a rich cultural heritage dating back centuries. However, like many Native American communities, Red Lake faces significant challenges, including high rates of poverty, unemployment, and social isolation. But first, subscribe to our channel for more content, and don't forget to share it with your friends and family. The shooter, Jeff Weise, was a 16-year-old student at Red Lake Senior High School. His life was marked by tragedy and hardship from an early age. Weise's father died by suicide when Jeff was young, and his mother suffered severe brain damage in a car accident, leaving her in a nursing home. Orphaned at a young age, he was raised by his grandfather on the Red Lake Indian Reservation. Weise struggled with depression and had a history of suicide attempts. His online presence revealed a fascination with Nazi ideology and violent imagery. Red Lake Senior High School, like many schools on reservations, faced unique challenges. Limited resources, high dropout rates, and a lack of mental health support services were ongoing issues. Despite these challenges, the school was a central part of the community, serving as a gathering place and source of pride for many residents. The day began like any other on the reservation. Students arrived at Red Lake Senior High School, unaware of the tragedy that would soon unfold. Meanwhile, Jeff Weise was preparing for an act that would forever change their lives. At approximately 2:45 p.m., Weise began his rampage. His first targets were his own family members. He shot and killed his grandfather, Darrell Lussier Seoster, a respected tribal police officer, and his grandfather's girlfriend, Michelle Sagana. Weise then stole his grandfather's police-issued weapons and bulletproof vest. Dressed in his grandfather's police uniform, Weise drove the police cruiser to Red Lake Senior High School. He arrived at the school at approximately 2:49 p.m. The sight of the police vehicle initially caused no alarm among students and staff. Upon entering the school, Weise encountered 2 unarmed security guards at the entrance. In a heroic act, security guard Derek Brunn confronted Weise, allowing his colleague to escape and warn others. Tragically, Brunn was shot and killed in this confrontation. Weise then proceeded into the school's main hallway. The sound of gunshots echoed through the building, causing panic among students and staff. Many initially thought it was a prank or drill, but the reality quickly set in as Weise continued his rampage. Weise entered a classroom where teacher Neva Rogers was conducting a lesson. In a horrifying sequence of events, he opened fire, killing Rogers and several students. Survivors later recounted how Rogers had attempted to protect her students, losing her life in the process. In addition to Neva Rogers, 5 students lost their lives in the classroom: Dwayne Lewis, Chase Lussier, Chanel Rosebear, Thurleen Stillday, and Alicia White. All were between the ages of 14 and 15 to 53 p.m. Just 4 minutes after Weise entered the school, local police arrived on the scene. They immediately engaged in a shootout with Weise, who was still in the school building. Wounded by police gunfire, Weise retreated to a classroom. There, surrounded by the victims of his rampage, he took his own life at approximately 2:57 p.m. The entire incident, from Weise's arrival at the school to his suicide, lasted only 9 minutes. In memory of those who lost their lives on March 21st, Derek Brunn, 28, security guard Neva Rogers, 62, teacher Dwayne Lewis, 15, student Chase Lussier, 15, student Chanel Rosebear, 15, student Thurleen Stillday, 15, student Alicia White, 14, student John Blackhawk, a fellow teacher, remembers Neva Rogers. Neva was more than just a colleague. She was a dear friend and an inspiration to all of us. She died protecting her students. That's the kind of person she was, always putting others first. Her loss left a void in our school and community that can never be filled. The shooting devastated the close-knit Red Lake community. Grief, shock, and trauma rippled through the reservation. Many residents knew both the victims and the perpetrator, adding layers of complexity to their emotional responses. Sarah Redcloud, a former student who survived the attack, recounts, "I was in the hallway when I heard the first shots. At first, I thought it was a prank, but then I saw Jeff with the gun. I ran into a classroom and hid under a desk. The sounds and screams. I'll never forget them. It felt like hours before we were rescued, even though it was only minutes." Officer Michael Clearwater commented, "When we arrived at the scene, it was chaos. But our training kicked in, and we focused on securing the area and helping the wounded. What I saw that day, it stays with you. It's why I'm now involved in school safety programs, trying to prevent anything like this from happening again." Red Lake Senior High School, like many schools nationwide, implemented stricter security protocols. These included improved lockdown procedures, enhanced entry controls, and increased presence of security personnel. Recognizing the critical need for mental health services, efforts were made to increase access to counseling and support for students and community members. Programs addressing trauma, depression, and suicide prevention were expanded. The Red Lake community came together in remarkable ways to support one another. Traditional healing ceremonies were held alongside Western counseling services. The incident sparked a renewed focus on preserving Ojibwe culture and strengthening community bonds. While significant gun control legislation did not immediately follow the incident, it contributed to ongoing discussions about firearm access and school safety. Some states implemented new laws regarding the secure storage of firearms. The Red Lake shooting remains one of the most tragic school shootings in U.S. history. It exposed vulnerabilities in school security, highlighted the urgent need for mental health support in Native communities, and contributed to ongoing debates about gun control. The resilience of the Red Lake community in the face of this tragedy serves as an inspiration, while the incident itself stands as a somber reminder of the work still needed to prevent such events in the future. The testimonials we've heard underscore the profound impact this event had on individuals and the community as a whole. They remind us that behind the statistics and headlines are real people, students, teachers, families whose lives were forever changed on that fateful day. As we remember the victims and honor their memory, let us recommit ourselves to the work of creating safer schools, supporting mental health, and fostering communities where every individual feels valued and supported. The story of Red Lake is not just one of tragedy, but also of resilience, healing, and the enduring strength of a community united in the face of unimaginable loss.